What is up, everybody? We are live. My name is Chaos, and welcome to a new episode of Take It to the Table. Not just any episode, an emergency broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined by none other than Soul and the owner of Wrestling Republic, Ben Allison. How you doing today, gentlemen?
I'm great.
And
You
that's
think
his
that's
reaction.
source
Cool.
reaction?
Yeah, that's it. Pretty much. Yeah, we got a jam-packed episode for you, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a crazy weekend to say the least. First off, quick little cheap plug: the vlog of Clash of the Castle is up right now on Wrestling Republic. Be sure you go and check that out. Like, share, and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. But we are here to talk about what we pretty much said on the thumbnail right now. All Out was less than 24 hours away, and pretty much the main highlight everyone's talking about is what happened after the pay-per-view, from a certain wrestler at a certain press conference. But you know what? I ain't going to explain this to you. Ben Allison will obviously delve into all the details, and we will talk all about it. So Ben, if you will, please proceed.
So basically, if you don't know what's happened yet, last night at the AEW press conference, which is what they always do after a pay-per-view, CM Punk kicked it off, and for no real reason. It's believed that the reason is because somebody who was asking questions, but not the person who was asking the question at the time, was somebody who used to do like comedy with Colt Cabana, and because he saw that person, it set him off. It was so bizarre. He brought it up himself, but he basically started going off on Colt Cabana, and not not necessarily Colt Cabana himself, but the fact that people are saying that he got him fired and all that, and he went off on it and basically was saying like, I didn't get him fired from anywhere. I don't want anything to do with him. I basically was saying I don't care what he does. I don't care if he's here, if he's not here. I just don't want anything to do with him. And he went on this long rant, and then basically just very randomly mentioned that it was the EVPs who leaked it.
Yeah.
And then at that point, like, he just skipped over that then for a minute, and then went on to just going to random Hangman page, and it was just so bizarre. And he went off on the apparently it was the Young Bucks he was referencing, and then Hangman Page by name, and he did mention Nick at one point, and then whatever. They asked the next question. Tony tried to divert it, and for the rest of the 20 minutes he was there doing questions, he kept bringing it back to the Colt Cabana thing. And you could see how uncomfortable Tony was. You could see, he even went off at Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, who, of course, are, massively pro AEW. And you could see Tony was visibly uncomfortable during that. And he really, really went off at them. He was talking about how, he had to go at Brian Alvarez for reporting that some of the roster were annoyed at him for going off at Hangman Page. And then he said he didn't go off on Hangman Page. He was just defending himself. Which is more or less the same thing, to be honest. But, he went off script and went off on Hangman Page a few weeks ago in Dynamite when he returned. Clearly, the situation's still not resolved between the two. And, of course, the EVPs have a big role, in the company. As their name suggests, executive vice presidents. So you've just insulted Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, two of the founding fathers of AEW, three of them, alongside Cody Rhodes. Now, we all know Cody Rhodes, where he is nowadays. But what was really interesting was afterwards, he got up and all this. And then people in the press noticed that security started coming in. And nobody knew until afterwards what it was about. And according to Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, and I think Sean Rossap has also now confirmed this, there was an encounter. I think the exact word was melee between the Young Bucks and CM Punk. Now, this is, of course, terrible. And then Fightful went on to report that the Elite threatened to leave AEW following this, which, of course, they're the executive vice presidents. This is huge. It doesn't seem like this is, a situation. And by the way, during this, Tony Khan was still doing the press conference. Afterwards, somebody came up to him and whispered in his ear, and he left then. Right, but that was at the end of the press conference. They didn't tell him before that. But it was absolute madness. And now you got to ask yourself, it doesn't seem like CM Punk and the Elite are going to be able to stay in the same company after this. Especially if they're threatening, walking out. So is it now to the point where the Elite are leaving, or is it the point where CM Punk's leaving? Or will Tony be able to get them back on the same page? Some people are saying it's a work. It's not a work. He went the entire thing referencing people that actually naming them. It was not a work. The way it was done, it was not a work. The only part of it which might have been a work, and I think could be a work, is the MJF part, where somebody asked him after all the comments. Somebody asked him, you look, how do you feel about the return of MJF? And CM Punk just said like very faintly, Tony loves putting me with people I don't like to work with. But I think that part was just a work in building up the MJF feud. But the rest of it was very much real. But yeah, that's basically the entire situation of what we know currently right now.
Where do we freaking begin? It's all too much, man. I'm freaking stressed. It seems to be
It
like,
is.
unfortunately, CM Punk is doing more damage than good at a company. And it's just so weird. Like, just that one comment about Colt Cabana just completely just set him off, and he just did
Yeah,
not care. And I saw the video, and you saw Tony Khan just literally, you wanted the world to swallow him up right there. It's like
yeah,
he didn't know what to do or how to handle it. Um, and it's just more leading to the fact that not necessarily the inmates are running the asylum, but he just don't know how to control these people.
no,
I saw that Ignacio's best friend Dave Meltzer obviously said that it was described as a melee in the backstage afterwards, and people were still at the building way after the scrum was done.
yeah.
And I just don't, I don't know where to begin. I'm starting to wonder, like, is CM Punk is he good for business? Like, is he good for AEW?
I don't
And
know. And
because
he had a complete nightmare, Tony Khan, during the presser, because at one point it got brought up about WWE booking 2 shows the same weekend as him. And of course, he made it all like, oh, yes, they're going against me, all this. And he was like, I don't have any. He basically was like, I was nice to them and now they're not being nice to me. Well, and the exact quote was, I have way more money than them. That was his
yeah,
exact quote. And it was like, well, their business is, far, far more profitable than yours. Like, you can't just keep shoving money into a company. It's not how it works.
mm,
And it was like he came across really bad in that press conference, Tony Khan. And as it went on more and more, and it's really not looking good for AEW after what was, to be honest, a poor pay per view as well.
what you say, it was a poor pay per view.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll definitely get into that. All right, so I mean, but yeah, it's really unfortunate. It's literally for the past, dare I say, probably month. There's nothing but bad stuff after bad stuff after
yeah,
bad stuff coming out from AEW, and it's like, you know, it's crazy how the tables turned. It is really it's almost to the point where it's toxic now.
yeah,
And it's not just with anybody. These are with all pretty much all their top superstars, wrestlers that is there.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, and me personally, if I had to choose between CM Punk and Young Bucks, I'm not obviously I'm probably the other person besides that Ignacio probably won't be a great fan of this, but I would say get rid of CM Punk.
Yeah, well, you
Like,
have to, because the video game as well. Kenny Omega's behind the video game. You can't
yeah,
get rid of the person behind the video game before the video game comes out. It's just you can't do it.
yeah, it's absolutely insane. What about you, Sol? What's your thoughts on this whole craziness that this happened on this weekend?
Is anyone surprised?
Is anyone surprised? Your
I'm
boy,
sorry. I'm
CM
sorry.
Punk.
Wrestling fans have been chanting for CM Punk to come back for 7 goddamn years. Every WWE show, you get the CM Punk chants. Every time there was a Rumble coming around, he was the number one top pick to come back. And now that he's back, everyone's just now turning on him now. I mean, we all know the whole Colt Cabana shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were we surprised when he was going to come in and then they're not going to get on? Fair enough. We
No,
all
of
knew
course
that,
not.
right? And now think about being in Punk shoes. You wake up to get to work. You're probably connected. You're probably tune into the wrestling scene. You see all these reports coming out about you saying you got somebody fired, someone that you don't like, but you got them fired and moved to another completely different show. You go into work, all your co-workers are probably giving you side eyes, side glances. You don't know who you can trust, who you can be friends with, who you can actually talk about your personal life with. So, and then the show before Dynamite, you've got some fat twat in the crowd chanting the name of the guy you hate, and you apparently got fired. I'm no surprised he's got set off about Colt Cabana and just absolutely talking what he can about him, because he's probably pissed and fed up, feeling like he is the number one villain now. I mean, to be fair, the part about the Elite, that was uncalled for. You shouldn't really.
If it was just the Cabana thing, it wouldn't have been this big. It's the fact that he basically,
see,
the EV to the company.
The thing is that you should have trust in your management, and they should have trust in you. That's the way I think it should work. But am I surprised about Punk being fired up? No, we all know what Punk's like. He's the kind of guy to talk the shit. He doesn't really do it on Twitter or social media. He's the one to directly confront it. Now, is this a work? No. I've seen people being like, "Oh, it's a work because they kept the cameras on him and didn't cut the mic or something like that, or that Tony didn't shut it down straight away when he was talking all the trash." I mean, I hate work shoots. I think they're fucking ridiculous. Just let the story be told. Don't have to have all this backstage gossip shite. Dirt sheets as well are fucking trash journalism. Just basically taking hearsay from their sources who they like to have as their best friends, and then say all this stuff about them. I mean, no, your sources are your sources. You don't have friendships with your sources. You pay them to give you the information, or they apparently trust you or something like that, and then you just report it. You don't try and act buddy as well. I love AEW. It's what got me into wrestling, and I feel 100% sure in myself. If AEW were to fold tomorrow, I'd probably be done with wrestling in itself. I mean, AEW is wrestling for me. If AEW gone, then I'm gone. I don't have an emotional connection, childhood connection to WWE or anything like that. AEW is it for me.
I mean, your response in that video from when Theory cashed in says different, but fair enough.
Funny. But look, at the end of the day, I take what I spoke with Warrior Wrestling CEO Steve Corello with, that these are people, and there's the people with their own problems, their own things, beliefs, and everything. There's going to be people they like, people they don't like. We as fans may think of them as the best people in the world, and sometimes they're not. They're just humans at the end of the day. They make mistakes. Don't hide them up on some pillars and think they're the almighty. We don't know what their life's like 24/7. We don't know what they have to go through, what they think, what they want to do with their lives. Just let them be people at the end of the day. But should Punk be fired from AEW for all these comments? I don't think so necessarily. Maybe a wee fine or something like that. If it is seriously that serious and if people are getting into physical altercations, then yes. But besides that, honestly, I think at the end of the day, Tony Khan needs to stop treating the wrestlers as his friends and as the employees. He needs to start acting like a boss.
How would you fix this situation then if you weren't going to get rid of CM Punk?
All right, two ways then.
Threatening
two ways. Say let's I have to get rid of Punk. I'm Tony Khan and Punk's too toxic for the workplace and I have to get rid of him. Arthur Ashe Stadium's in New York, MJF pins him for the belt and then Punk's gone. That's that. But if I get to keep Punk around and things are fine, I still have MJF take the belt off him, but I then make him work a trio match with the Elite with FTR at his side. At least get a program out of this and make some views from it.
That would do fantastic. That would do fantastic. But I just don't know how you can get them.
At the end of the day, you look at Punk. He's a merch seller. He's a goddamn merchandise machine. Shirts sell out. Figures sell out. It's why he's on the cover of the game. It's why he's on the cover of the posters. It's why his trading card, like Upper Deck said, was the fastest selling EPAC card they had of all times. He is a goddamn merch machine.
Oh, he is.
100%.
But it's 100%. Whether or not, right? If you can, Tony Khan said this in the presser. He said, a lot of wrestlers don't like each other. It's the way it is, and sometimes that going public can make the feuds more compelling. But for that to be the case, you need to be able to, have them work together. They need to be professional. And CM Punk's already said he's not going to work with Hangman Page again. He's already said that. So at that, I mean, that's bad enough to say, to be honest. But, and somebody said that this Punk thing will elevate the ratings for AEW to an earth-shattering level. If they turn it into a work shoot, I think it'll give them a bit of a pop. I don't think it'll do anything too major, to be honest. But I don't think it's going to go that way at all to a world shoot because I don't think they can do it. Now, if they are able to do it, him and FTR versus the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega would be a hell of a feud, like you said. That would be fantastic. But yeah, I just don't think it's going to be unless I don't know what Tony Khan can do to be able to get them all on the same page now. But I feel like it might be the only way is for CM Punk to publicly apologize, which no way in hell is he going to do.
Boy, interesting takes from you guys. I need to really sit down and and just delve into this and see where I stand, because I literally heard about all this stuff literally 10, 20 minutes before we went live.
Yeah, I woke up half an
And
hour after this shit ended, and I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!"
so yeah, it's pretty manic. I don't know where exactly I stand, and see. I want to see
When you
what
think about how
exactly.
there's probably going to be a ton of people tuning into Dynamite now to hear what the fallout is.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think
Oh, yeah, it's
the
what
ratings are
that
going to be
comment there
nuts.
just said.
Say again.
It's what the comment just said. They said that the Punk
Yeah.
thing will elevate the ratings to an earth-shattering level. I don't know if I'd go that far personally, but it'll definitely give them a little bit of a boost. And if they turn it into a work, then it will give them a boost. But I don't think it'll be, I think they might get them over 1 million, but I don't think it'll, be record-breaking for them or anything.
No, it will definitely be interesting, especially with the return of a certain MJF.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, MJF's news already being reported in like the New York Times and stuff like that, or New York Post, one of like the big New York media companies as well. So it's going well on that part.
Yeah. MJF's a star. He's an absolute star.
Aye.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if that voicemail was the real deal in his end.
Hey, that was a nice little touch, especially when he
mentioned
money and he censored it. I was like, that was very neat. Yeah, like in my head, I was like, if I booked it, I would love to have something where, like, Tony just said like he's desperate.
It was like my Punk heel turn booking story. Pretty much what happened last night. Well, to a T.
To a degree, yeah, to a degree.
I was doing a watch along with Anthony and Kobe, and when the casino ladder match happened, we were like, first thing we said is please don't unmask him now, which they didn't do. We're like, great. Yeah. But the other thing we were saying is, how on earth are you going to do this and make it look and make it look realistic? And they did it. They did it by doing that voicemail thing. It was really well done. I really liked that part.
Yeah.
And I thought it was good ending to pay-per-view. It's not, debuting some new star. They got off, whatever.
I like the whole callback to Ring of Honor as well. With
No, I did. Yeah, I really did like the ending. That's one of the things I liked about the show.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like Punk and MJF's money. I mean, I remember watching the whole feud and match at Revolution, and that was just the highlight of the goddamn night for me.
100%.
Oh yeah.
That's the only thing I remember from that pay-per-view, to be honest. But yeah, definitely that was the highlight.
But what was that fan's question again?
Yeah, let me just put it up again. So he said, during the pipe bomb promo, Punk avoided going through the curtain just to make the work more realistic. The security things are small attention to details which elevate the authenticity of a worked.
It's not a worked shoot. It's not one.
I don't think there is. I think there's obviously like this like I said, there's comments that was uncalled for. I think the altercations was definitely genuine. He was just ticked off. When he was ticked off, he just kept on going and going, and then there was no.
Wouldn't you be ticked off if you have to go to work every day and then have side eyes from your employees because some arseholes on Twitter are reporting that you apparently got somebody fired? I'd be.
It was the Young Bucks who leaked the information, but yeah, I mean, is it how false can it really be? How false can it be though if the Young Bucks told Dave about it?
I mean,
well, we know Meltzer's a mark for them, so pretty much. I mean, he's named a move.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, is it? Is
I mean, I was watching the rest of the Rivers.
Ban has been moved, which he says the entire thing was him saying, "I'm not responsible for that." Well, why would the Young Bucks think he is if he isn't? Or is this, I mean, again, it's TK should have nipped it in the bud right away. And he did say this. He said it in the press. He was like, I shouldn't have given a no comment the first time I was asked about this. I should have, come out clean then. But, it's a real mess.
I think Tony Khan's realizing this is really a cutthroat business. He was trying to keep it all like a nice, friendly business office vibe. But now he realizes that, you got to be a bit...
And that's what I think as the presser went on, he kind of did take that, and you could see him get more and more focused, which is, I mean...
Like, I remember there was some twat in the media thing that asked, like, oh, why didn't you hear the crowd and then put the tag titles in the Acclaimed? And he defended his points very well. It was like, stick to the plan, but we could always run it back.
Yeah. He didn't want to do what Vince does, because Vince is known to call audibles and change everything last minute.
The one thing I like,
in certain cases, though, I'm not against it being changed.
In certain cases, I
wouldn't be opposed in that situation, to be honest. But I don't think it was a bad choice not to either.
No, that the Acclaims in the Swerve Glory match was absolutely stunning. That was a great tag match.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
it was. I
if there
take
was
back what
anything,
I
there should
said
have
about it.
been, if anything, there should have been one audible call tonight, and that was making Jamie Hayter the champion.
Yeah, she was hella over, very hella over.
But the thing
Not
about
as
AEW
over
is
as
they
the
like to.
Acclaim, though. I still think that would have been the better audible if you were going to do one.
I mean, could be, yeah, but you could always run it back because they're always still going to be over. The Acclaimed
Yeah.
are
Yeah,
amazing.
but
They're
not
always
as over maybe as the first time. It'd be a bit more obvious, wouldn't it, if you do it again?
You never know.
Whereas with
I mean,
Hater, you could do a singles match where maybe
I mean,
wouldn't be so
AEW
obvious.
like to let their stories play out. Like they'll
Yeah.
keep people on the bench just to get the story out, which is fine in itself. And then there's sometimes that sometimes you got to end the story. Like they ended the Sammy and Eddie story. So it shows TK does have like a limit for guys if they scrap and then cutting the whole match. He cuts the whole Eddie and Sammy match as well off the card for All Out because that was built up, but that was stopped after their physical altercation. So he can do some stuff. It's just at this point, the way he's looking at it is like this: do I fire the guy who's making me $1 million gates and getting me merch money through the goddamn roof, or do I fire the founders who are doing work with the guys, brought most of the guys in, and are working on the video game relationship with Ukes? Mason a hard fucking ball right here.
No, it really is a tough decision.
Yes.
Which is obviously why it's TK's best interest getting back on the same page. It was like, how do you do that?
Those are since Cody's gone, those are your biggest like movers, you know. Obviously there's other people that can be in that's in the in the process of being the next big thing, but they're years from then. So yeah, definitely it needs to really somehow nip it in the bud and just somehow get them all on an even keel. The one that he definitely needs to sort out is between Punk and Page because that he's I think out of all of them, he's way more pissed off with Page than anyone else.
That's why the Young Bucks are so pissed off as well. It's the fact that he's like Page is obviously there's I say it's you can see in the kayfabe or whatever, but you can obviously see the fact that the Young Bucks work with him basically in every storyline, whether they're with him or against Page. He's basically always involved. You can tell how close they are, right?
I will say one thing. The only way that this could ever be possibly be a work, the only way I can see this being a work, if it's referenced in the episode of BTE coming out tonight.
No, they'll probably do it anyway, won't they? No, in the box.
Yeah.
Honestly,
probably.
that's the only way I could see it. See if we get like
BT.
See if we get like a segment on BT where the Bucks are talking to Brandon Cutler, and then they hear the press conference, and then we see the security stuff on BT. Then it's a work.
Oh
yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just.
How was the relation? They didn't know each other.
How was the relation between Punk and Kenny Omega before they entered AEW? Do you know?
Yeah, they don't know. They didn't know each other personally.
They don't know each other.
Punk didn't know barely anybody apart from the WWE guys.
Pretty much,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And some of them he didn't even get along with then. Like there was concern bringing him in. Like he had a lot of issues with people backstage in WWE, right? And it's at what point do you go? When you have a problem with everybody, at what point do you notice that maybe the problems with yourself? And that's maybe what he's got to work out. Now, one thing he said yesterday in the presser, which I don't think actually, I interpreted in the way and I don't think people interpreted it in the way he wanted it to be interpreted. But it's a good point, and it's a good point to a lot of these ex-WWE guys, and that is the grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. I think that's a very good point to a lot of people on both sides. Yeah.
Nah, I just feel so bad for AEW because this is just giving more people more shit to say about them.
Exactly. People are now saying like, "Oh, AEW's done, it's dead."
Yeah, it's definitely not.
People just hate this company. It's because they were growing up with Stone Cold Steve Austin's fucking thumb in their mouth, and they're just like, "Oh,
well." That's the one thing that which Punk did say in the press conference, which was a bit worrying. Was he said, it was the reference in the fact that he compared last year's All Out to Bash at the Beach, and then he basically said in it, I still think in 5 years everyone will look at it and be like, this is the catalyst for it all, this where it all started, and he said I still think that, and he just paused for a minute and he said, but to be honest, I could be wrong with all this drama and everything, and like you should have seen TK's reaction. It was like, oh.
You just say, boy. Well, TK
Even
said
if
he's
you
never going to sell AEW, but
yeah,
hey,
he
who
said
knows?
that too. He said that.
Yeah. It's yeah. I don't. I like the guy like this fellow fan that's watching. He said AEW is definitely far from dead.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, this is still unfortunately this gives an added ammunition to these haters that's out there. And yeah, everyone's saying like, yeah, now WWE's on the up and up now, and whatnot. Everyone should go there. It's not
I
the
mean,
case.
if you have to get Punk off TV, do Arthur Ashe Stadium, have MJF and be a steel cage match or a death match or
It has
fucking
to
a
happen.
match or just the hardest hitting match you could ever do. I don't know, maybe beer on a pole match or some shit like that. Just make it the hardest hitting match you can do, and then have Punk go off TV for maybe a couple of months or the rest of the year, and then make him come back
Now,
at the Face of the Revolution pay per view, well, Face of the Revolution match type. If you have to
now,
get him,
You're doing it too much to have him sitting at home. Like the MJF was on a lot less.
I mean, his merch will still sell like shit crazy.
That's true. Yeah.
it would,
I
but
mean,
now,
you've already got this classic Punk figure coming out, so that's going to just be the hottest selling thing ever.
But he's definitely
They've already posted on Shop AEW a painted picture of MJF where he has the fucking steel thing around Punk's neck with the blood and all that. That's going to sell like crazy. Even if Punk stays off the injured list, his stuff's still going to sell because people love Punk and people will buy anything off him on it. He could be on like a goddamn candy bar or soap or ice cream.
Yeah.
He'll sell it.
ice cream bars.
It's just a question about putting the title on MJF, but whether or not that's a good idea. Because one perspective is, firstly, he draws he draws, even though he's not like a huge name, he just draws like shit. Not like shit, like these shit. Like he, you know, has ridiculously well numbers, even though he's not well known, and he just sells really, really well. And one perspective, you can look at it and go, maybe like giving him the title now, and doing all this, and doing right by him, maybe he'll sign a contract extension. However, and it's like me and Anthony Ricciardi, Wrestling Public Opinion Writer, we discuss this all the time. No, he's made up his mind already, MJF. He made up his mind months ago that he's going to jump to WWE. So unless you really are convinced you can change his mind, is giving him the title just over a year before he can jump ship a good idea? I mean, you can look at it either way. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea because I think you'll sell a lot for them as champion, to be honest. I think, but it's just, it will put his worth up. And from when he goes to WWE, you will be doing him. Maybe AEW will be doing more for him than he'll be doing for AEW.
I could see MJF being champ, and I think he'll feel fulfilled. He'll feel fulfilled being the AEW champion. Tony will understand that he is paying the right money. And then there's only one person who I think can really take the title of MJF, who will be the most credible babyface, who will get the biggest reaction, the biggest pop, and most well-deserved for it will be Eddie Kingston.
No.
Absolutely. He will.
It should be
Brian Danielson.
No, it shouldn't be. They need to... this thing, right, giving it to all the ex-WWE guys. Well, I know Eddie Kingston isn't, but giving it to, these ex-WWE guys are guys who are a bit older. It's not working for them, really, is it?
I mean, it kind of is. Obviously, see, Chris Jericho, they did it for business reasons. I understand that.
Yeah.
CM Punk,
but they're getting a lot of backlash for it now, right? And
kind of
the person who they built up this entire time of MJF from the start. There's two people you could do, and two people you'd make stars from, and then you can take the title. If they're not selling well, you can easily get a heel like Jericho or a heel Moxley, take it off them quite quickly. It's fine, right? But it'd be a career-making performance for them. And that would be Darby Allin or Jungle Boy. Both have been aligned with MJF from the very start, and it would make a lot of sense to do. And also be creating a new star.
They are the four pillars, isn't it? Well, one of the that's three of the four pillars right there.
So maybe Darby Allin and Jungle Boy is a good call. I mean, they both are over as shit, and I both love them as well. Maybe that is a fair point as well. Maybe have Darby or Jungle Boy or Jack Perry technically take the belt off MJF. I just feel like, people have been like, oh, it's all the ex-WWE guys like with the champions. There's only two technically ex-WWE guys that are champion right now. That's Keith Lee with the tag champs and Tony Storm now with the interim women's champion. The others are all quote-unquote AEW originals technically.
Yeah.
Well, Punk as well is technically a champion, so technically free if you want to be technical there.
Yeah, but I mean, Omega and Page, they're not really AEW originals. But they weren't XWE guys, but they weren't AEW originals. And I have no problem, by the way, with them being champion. But I just think they talked a big game about creating new stars, and yet now a lot of their younger stars are getting pissed off because they're not getting the opportunities. Because young, older XWE guys or older guys in general, getting the opportunities instead. So by having 2 young champions in a row, and also then, if let's say Darby Allin or Jungle Boy beats MJF, that could be your John Cena Randy Orton feud, where you do it, for years and years, run it back at times, and it could be a real defining feud for AEW, or maybe even as big as, who knows? Maybe AEW's Rock Austin. You don't know, right? It could be huge for them, and a feud like that it can do you a decade. It really can. So that's why I'd really like to see that. And you put them there. You put Darby Allin, maybe not Jungle Boy as much, but you put Darby Allin and MJF for all the these top guys, but you've just not given them their moment. They even won some of these matches, and yet you've not done. There's nothing materialized from it.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with Jungle Boy. God, we need to talk about that as well. Flipping hell. What happened there? Anyway, let me just go in this comments right here. So he says, "You still sure that's not a work shoot? A few weeks back, MJF gave an interview to Helwani, which was a work shoot, and MJF didn't break character even after being asked if this was part of the storyline. He's not getting it."
I'm so fucking fed up with these fans. I'm sorry. No, let me speak. I'm so fucking fed up with these fans. Are like, if something doesn't go their way or it's negative or something like, oh, it's a shoot. It's a shoot. Shut the fuck up. It's no goddamn shoot. This is actual shit that gets on in the workplace. Shit's shit, all right? I'm so sick of this stuff saying it's a shoot. It's a shoot. Have you been born and bred on goddamn late WCW? That's all you know now. God,
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
Well, if I'm in big trouble,
I agree. I
agree.
But also, right, with this MJF situation, I said about it. I said about it months ago. I said that it's not a work. It's a real situation, right? That Tony Khan not on eye to eye. But before whatever happened in that meeting they had before the episode of Dynamite, a couple of days before the episode of Dynamite, after Double or Nothing, whatever happened in that meeting, pardon?
It was like a week after.
Yeah. Whatever happened in that meeting, they agreed then that this was going to happen, or maybe not, the exact details, but they agreed, a rough idea that, okay, you're going to go for a few months, whatever, some time apart, and then we'll come back at All Out. It was all agreed then. The details of it, obviously, nobody knew, and who knows if they knew the details at the time of this is just an idea that's come along over the way. But clearly that's what they wanted to do. They've done it, and you got a huge pop. And hopefully now that they can, see eye to eye a bit more, hopefully MJF is professional. But I want him to be professional for the sake of his career as well. And, behind the scenes, stay and, you don't want to, blow your hand before it, you actually have the chance to play it, which is what he almost did. So hopefully now this is resolved because MJF in the next, how many months is it? 15 months can earn AEW a lot of money. He can. AEW will also, AEW will also like I said, AEW will probably benefit him more than he benefits them, but still he'll be benefiting them a lot too. So it's a difficult one, but I think Tony Khan's just gotta take it, and then if he leaves, he leaves. If he doesn't, maybe how he's treated over the next 15 months will make him change his mind. Who knows?
Exactly.
And we just gotta wait and see. But it's wrestling at the end of the day. It's always been the way with that.
Yeah, exactly. Also, Soul, he apologized. He didn't mean to irritate you, so yeah, he's really sorry. Just makes you say,
No, I acknowledge you, pal. Sure.
Just like someone else you should acknowledge. Anyway, moving on. Numero Superfly, longtime fan of the channel.
Yes.
Welcome back to. He comments: should Tony Khan have some sort of meeting with CM Punk and anyone Punk has issues with to just resolve the issues? Or should they settle their issues in the ring to get it resolved? Now, don't do it in the ring because
if my manager's pissing me off, I'm just like, right, you twat parking lot, I'm going to give you a DDT and give me a pay rise. That'll work out. No, look, if I'm Tony Khan right now and I realize there's an issue in the locker room, I get the higher ups, the EVPs, the Bucks and Kenny. I get Jerry Lynn as well, head of talent relations. I think is Jerry Lynn head of talent relations, or is it Dean Malenko, or right? And whoever it is,
Sterling, I think. Yeah.
whoever it is, get them in there. Get Punk, Cabana, Page, and that's it.
I wouldn't get Cabana involved.
No, you got look. What? No.
I think Cabana thing's too deep, and I think
It is deep.
I think Punk and Cabana are now not at peace with each other at all. But I mean, both on the same page. They just don't want anything to do with each other, positive or negative.
It's essentially people fighting for other people's rights. It's like the Bucks and Kenny are fighting for Cabana, who probably doesn't even want to fight it. He's probably just like,
yeah,
it's bygones be bygones. And that's what it is. People fighting for other people as well. Punk and Cabana probably settled it, like, well, not settled it. They basically just agreed, look, work in the same company. Let's just not talk to each other and let's just.
Yeah.
I mean, they technically worked the same Dynamite together as well. The Dynamite in Chicago where MJF cut the promo on Punk. Punk had the match against QT and Cabana had a match against Bryan Danielson. They've technically worked the same Dynamite together and nothing came out of that.
Yeah, no, it's true. They just have nothing to do with each other. That's what Punk was getting upset about in the thing. He was saying that I don't want anything to do with him. I wasn't, responsible for getting him and, not Buck. I just don't want anything to do with him, positive or negative.
Yeah.
I do agree with Tony should have a meeting with I do agree Tony should have a meeting with Punk, Page, and the Elite and just get this shit all sorted out. You don't want to work. You don't want to work rivalries are in the ring together, right? That's fine. But you're gonna still be in the same building. You're gonna still be attending fan events and shit like that. Just pack it in.
Yeah, and I think in an ideal world, to respond directly to that comment, should Tony Khan have some sort of meeting with CM Punk and the Elite? Yes, he has a meeting with them. Then, if the meeting goes well, they shake hands. Yes, okay, maybe we're not friends, but we're not going to talk ill about each other publicly at all, whatever. Then, at that point, you then get them to resolve their issues in the ring and turn it into a work because it's got you a lot of negative media things. So, to make up for that, what they can do instead, as basically not a punishment from Tony Khan, but, I guess a punishment in a way. But you basically get them to work with each other in the ring once they've sorted it out as an apology, basically. So they earn the company money and make up for the amount of negative attention that they brought to the company.
Yeah, it's I guess it's a totally separate situation, but and to be fair, I don't know how they pulled it off. But back when with Edge and Lita and Matt Hardy situation, when even though that was fresh, but they still were able to get a rivalry out of it, and it was good. Even though Matt got crushed in every match, but they kept it professional when it came to the ring and whatnot, and it did good ratings for them. So, people obviously the fans are very divisive whether they should have done that or they shouldn't. But for me, it was great. I think it was one of the first work shoots I've seen back then. So. Yeah, you could definitely get some money out of it. Just make sure that everyone is on an equal playing field, and no one gets stiffed during the matches because it just looks awkward and bad on TV, and it just it just gives more of these haters more shit to say. So, no, I agree. They should also but I don't want to lose anyone. I just don't want to lose anyone. But by the looks of things, this ain't gonna go down. This ain't gonna go away anytime soon. I think more things are gonna develop within this week alone. I think so. Yeah. Be prepared to start posting a lot, Ben.
Today's going to be a big day news-wise because Fightful are, of course, working very hard, I imagine, to find out what happened after, everything. But this is where I don't have an issue with, I guess, dirt sheets, right? Is when they report stuff that's happened backstage after it. Like I don't have an issue with that at all. What I have the issue is them spoiling stuff which is going to happen in the ring ahead of time. That's what I have an issue with.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. But I don't have any issue with them reporting after the fact at all.
No, I have an issue with them reporting stuff in the ring and match events or surprises. That I have a problem.
Yeah, that's same. I agree.
What also I have a problem with them is
which is why we don't cover it on Wrestling Public.
We never cover it. But what I have a problem with is these sort of big. I like to call them media or reporters that hide news behind paywalls. You don't see CNN or BBC or stuff like that, real actual news shit hiding. Like say if our next prime minister was announced, who's that English twat there, the Tory one, got announced, and we're going to hide that behind the $20 paywall. It's you want to know who's running the country? £20 paywall.
You say that though. The Athletic, who are the biggest football site, do that. To be fair, it's not. It's not. BBC don't do it because obviously that's not their business model. But it is more and more the way that the world's going. That's not just a wrestling thing. In fairness,
I still think it's a lot of shit.
Either way, I don't like it. Like
no, I don't. No, I don't.
You
But
know,
it's just
No
the
one
way
should
that
do
it's
it.
going because it's because of social media companies not
Because it's
paying
weird
people
because
correctly. Basically.
the news that they're collecting is technically free. So what gives you the right to charge for that freeness? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
it's their work, isn't it? Like it's like you
I
okay.
get that.
Back in the day, you'd pay for a newspaper.
Yeah. No, I totally
Yeah.
get that, but that's at a decent price. That's like 20p, 30p, whatever. But these people are charging a premium for
it's true.
something. It's
To find out
you know what I
stuff.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
easily
no,
just- that's
true.
why everyone just goes on Reddit and then just like, all right, who's going to take the plunge and get the $20 so everyone else can do it? It's like literally only one person can technically pay for it, and then the whole internet knows. So I just think it's absolutely pointless.
Yeah,
it is, but it does earn Fightful a shit ton of money. To be honest, I know sort of a couple of months ago, I knew the number, and I was like, holy shit. So I mean, if they're earning, what they're earning, there's stuff revealing, stuff before shows. That's what I don't like, or spoiling returns. That's what I have an issue with. But other stuff like backstage stuff that's happening, or like how returns came about and stuff like that. I'm completely good with that stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm cool with that. I agree. Anthony Mazzano says hi. Welcome back to this channel.
Hello.
Frequent visitor. So yeah, well, hi to you back.
Well,
Leave
should we
your
take
thoughts in
a
the comments.
detour and should we actually talk about All Out for a week?
Yeah. I was about to set it up, man. Come on, calm down. No, but yeah, we're gonna be talking about All Out, which happened, like I said, less than 24 hours away. Ben Allison pretty much gave his thoughts at the beginning of the.
Do you want me to very briefly give my thoughts on it?
Oh shit! Here we go.
Go ahead. Yeah, sure. I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure it'll be shorter than Ignacio, but so go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, right, I was watching it live. I said with Kobe and Anthony, and we basically all agreed. Everything basically, and there was 3 matches which we were excited for. The Casino Ladder match, just because it'd be whatever, a very fun match to watch. Then we were also excited for Jungle Boy Christian, and then Ricky Starks, Will Hobbs. All of which were throwaway matches for a storyline. Now, I don't have an issue with, doing that occasionally. Of one of those matches like that, I wouldn't have an issue. But it's the fact that, on a pay-per-view where people are paying that hard-earned money, 3 of the matches are like that. And also Athena Jade, that was also a squash. So 4 of the matches were like that on a pay-per-view where people spend their hard-earned money to buy. This was where, feuds are meant to end. If you just did it with one of them, to get, people hype up the next week or whatever, that's understandable. But when all of them are like that, it does frustrate me. The Casino Ladder match I didn't really have an issue with. It was the other ones I had an issue with, especially the Jade Athena one. And apparently the Christian Jungle Boy thinks because Christian's got a bad arm or something. Well, it's just,
man.
It just sucked. No, in fact, you know what? Actually, what freaks me even more is the Ricky Starks Will Hobbs one, because it just literally those are like I spoke about before about MJF and Jungle Boy or Darby Allin. Those are 2 young stars, Ricky Starks and Will Hobbs, that could build a long-term feud between each other. And the way they did it wasn't like a blatant squash. It was a 4-minute squash. And the difference between a 4-minute squash and a 15-minute match where Hobbs, wins without, any big kickouts, it basically is the same effect. So either have to do a quick out-of-nowhere squash or just let it go 15 minutes, give him a bit of a, action. It felt like a slap in the face to Ricky. It really did. It didn't make him look really weak or some big shock value.
Yeah.
It just came across as shit. And it really, really frustrated me. As that was the one match on last week's show I hyped up, I praised, and then they did that. The entire show felt ridiculously rushed. They weren't really any.
Considering the fact it was 70 matches, but yeah.
The tag match was good, and the trios match was fun as well. That was it. The rest of the matches were fine. Well, either bad or fine. I thought Brian Danielson versus Jericho was, a decent match. I thought the main event was fine. But apart from that, I thought everything under-delivered. And quite frankly, it was quite disappointing. I thought the women's match was fine as well. But it really was the worst AEW pay-per-view with a crowd so far to date. And it really did feel like a slap in the face to people, who spent their hard-earned money to watch the event.
So, would you like to rebuttal before I jump in?
So I'm going to rate the pay-per-views of the year for AEW. At the top for me is Revolution, then Forbidden Door, then Double or Nothing, and then All Out. Let's start with the buy-in. Hook and one of the guys at 2.0. Fair enough for a away match. Apparently, we're getting Hook the singer of his theme, Chairman Intent, and 2.0 at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Just a wee marquee match. Fair enough. That's fine. Ty Morello and Sammy Guevara versus Ruby Soho and Ortiz.
For the third time in a row.
For the third time in a row, yes, exactly. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, I know you want them on the card because they're people,
This is Vince booking. This is
but also, holy shit, what happened to Ruby Soho? Like, Jesus Christ. She got knocked on her head and then broken nose.
Oh, I have not seen it, so I need to.
My God, poor lass. I mean, I like
sloppy shop.
And the match I really liked. I really, really liked Pact and Kip Sabian.
Okay.
I really like that. I really, really like Kip Sabian. I think he's amazing. I love the whole character work he's doing with the box. Like, it's this sort of alternate personality. He was just shouting it at the ring when he lost. I really like that. And then we're apparently going to get, maybe at Archer after, we might get Pac versus Orange Cassidy because Pac walked out of the heel tunnel as well. So maybe we're going to get that rerun from Revolution in 2020.
Yeah.
Moving on to the main card, the Casino Ladder match. It set up what it had to set up, which was the MJF Stokely faction stuff.
I mean, it threw me off at the beginning. It was weird as hell, but that makes sense.
But it set up what it had to set up. I loved how he came up with that song. I think it's Symphony from the Devil or something like that. I really like that, which is a nice wee callback to one of MVS promos where he said that if you've been paying attention, you get rewarded. Nice stuff. Afterwards, I think it was Jade and Athena, or was it?
No, it was the Elite versus
Hangman Dark Order. I understand the finish because we all technically knew this. We knew the true belts were going to be introduced until Kenny came back. So it was, if you knew the dirt sheets, you knew he was going to win it. I was really hopeful Dark Order and Hangman were going to win it, but yeah, just for namesake. I mean, still a great match. I mean, I like how you can see a progress from Kenny wearing like the full body, like the shirt and the tape, and then wears the tape, and then he's just Kenny. Great, I loved it. Then I can't remember the match right on the top of my head. I mean, it's just been a long day.
So then I got it for you. Said next it was Cargill versus Athena.
Yeah, what the hell happened there? Jesus. I mean, they came out. I like the gear. I like the whole She-Hulk inspired gear. I loved Athena's gear with like the skull, the cruel the cruel skull, and like these tattered bird wing lights.
It was a callback to Overwatch. I don't know if you play Overwatch, but
or something like that. But I mean, why was it so short? Why was this so
short? And there was a botch in there.
Yeah, I know the initial plan was something with AEW is like they like to stick to the original plans. It was meant to be Statlander and Cargill. Are they really just going to keep the belt on Jade until Statlander's healed up?
They clearly just they clearly are very stubborn. They've done it plenty of times, so it looks like it.
I don't know. I mean, what was next? You're gonna have to run the
then it was Wardlow versus Wardlow and FTR versus the Motor Machine Guns. Jay Lee.
I like that. That was a good match, solid match. I mean, I just wish the TNT title got an actual defense on a pay-per-view since donkeys. That's fine.
And a little cheap pop with the daughter as well.
That was lovely. Really nice line track with Sanjay Suck getting his pencil broken.
I didn't like it.
I knew you was going to say that.
Why? Right. You know what? If she just came out and hugged them or whatever, that's fine. She broke the pencil and he started selling it like, oh no, what? I was crying or what?
Hey, that's a nice big pencil there.
A pencil got broken by like a 5-year-old girl.
Whoa, 8-year-old. Come on now. Fight like an 8-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what's worse? Which was worse? Do you think that one was worse, or when Nicholas and Braun Strowman won the tag team titles? Which was worse?
Well, but they weren't selling the stuff from Nicholas.
Oh, come on!
Stop but I know I hated it because
malfunction clip.
I hated it because Braun actually squashed the tag team. Well, I really didn't like it, but so I'd say that's worse. But in fairness, it's a bit difficult to compare because Nicholas, nobody was selling anything from Nicholas. It was just Braun.
He tagged in and he tagged back out, didn't he? But still, that was the co-main event of WrestleMania.
No, it sucked. I hated
it. But anyway,
next?
Next one was then it was Powerhouse Hobbs against Starks.
As I said before, I didn't mind who won this. I think both are great. Love both of them. I just wish it was maybe a bit more like Brock Lesnar Cena, where Lesnar squashed Cena. You know what the match I'm meaning? Where he won the
won the
the
world
gold
tag
and
title.
the scratch logo championship. I wish it was a bit more like that. Hopefully, what if this leads to what I think it's going to lead to? Then I think it's going to be great. This match will serve its purpose. Hobbs defeats Wardlow for the TNT title, and we get Starks and Hobbs for this TNT title, which Starks wins. If we get that, I'm happy with this match the way it went. Setting up
why
Hobbs.
4-minute squash? Why don't you do like a 30-second squash or a complete squash? Like it was just a 4-minute squash when it's not even a full squash. You know, Starks
They
got
saved
some
that
action.
they saved
It
that for
shows
another match
resilience
later.
for Starks. It shows resilience. It shows Starks has got resilience. We know
Oh,
Starks.
you
has
let it go
bad
10
from his
minutes
injury.
then, and then have him beat him. Don't give it 4 minutes. It's the worst amount of time you can give it. It really did. That really
Technically, it
really
was, according to Wikipedia, it was 5 minutes 5 seconds. Just saying,
Oh,
but still,
I
I see what you
have no
mean.
problem
I'm
with
just
it.
saying the original
If it leads to Hobbs getting the TNT championship and then Starks beats him for it, I got no problem with it. Other than that,
I like that. Trav.
if this just fizzles out to nothing, then I'm gonna have a problem with it. We're gonna have a problem here.
The rumor is that Starks might be leaving, and that's why they did it.
If he does, he's an idiot. Like they're finally putting the train behind him. Like, calm it down. Unless they told him what we have plans for him, and then I understand. Because there's a lot of people that have an issue.
But remember,
with the
he's a
booking right
Cody
now.
guy. He's a Cody guy.
Oh, he's a Cody guy. Oh, that
Yeah.
says it. Okay. Say no more.
So I think that's
All
where
right.
it's come from because he's not signed an extension with them yet, so his contract's up fairly soon. However, I still can't see him leaving. I really can't, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that'll be his biggest. I don't think he would go WWE. I think that'll be his biggest thing to stay there. So that'll be most.
Chaos, what's next, buddy? What's
Next one was Swerving Our Glory versus the Acclaimed.
This was
quite possibly the match of the night.
This is probably near enough the match of the night for me as well. I love this. I mean, this is easily going to leave Swerving Our Glory to being heels as well. I mean, Strickland's just a wee cocky shite, and I feel like his influence is going on Keith Lee as well. There was chance for, goddamn, there was Scissor Me Daddy chance. Where are you going to find that? That was absolutely hilarious. There was the Anthony Bowens chance. I love the Acclaimed. Everybody loves the Acclaimed. Do I think we should have won it? No, because it's too early for Swerving Our Glory. That's just too early for them. I feel like we can get more out of this. You don't have to initially win the first blow off. You can build this up to another one where it's like, look, it can lead to more greater things. I still think it was a fine match. Great showing by all four of them. Happy with it.
I'm pretty sure Ignacio must have been shitting on this one every 2 seconds with his hatred for Keith Lee.
The one thing I will say is TK said he wasn't going to do any rematches after if you lost a title shot. And then in the press, he said that, we'll run it back at Arthur Ashe.
I mean, we've just had Sam and
it wasn't like it was.
We've had the fucking AAA mixed tags 3 times.
Yeah, but it wasn't like this was, some, big, it wasn't like they cheated to win or something. Like it was clean.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Be for pride. I mean,
that
honestly,
CM Punk stuff is a work, Okay.
There we go. Oh my God.
Rewind it a little bit, right, and see Soul's rant, right? He kept saying shoot instead of work, but you'll get the point.
Oh my God, who is this? Oh my God.
Fucking daft cunt.
It's not a work.
It's not a work. For God's sake, everyone just
CM Punk MJF part was the only thing which might be a work. The others weren't.
Jay White, when he was going nuts when he couldn't set up his thing, that's the work. This is not.
Remember when everyone said that Cody was a work? It was like, Cody's actually going to come and be the Ring of Honor owner or the GM for Ring of Honor.
Who said Cody wasn't at work? Who said MJF thing wasn't at work, but MJF would return? And now I'm saying about CM Punk as well. It's not.
Like, what you can do, Square Circle Percent, is you can go into the mirror and take off that white makeup because you're a fucking clown.
No. The perfect meme I got for this guy that just said that CM Punk stuff.
You're a donut. You're so stupid. You're so stupid. You're stupid. Dumb.
That's all we have to say, guys. That's all we have to say.
Moving on. My thoughts for all that. What was next after Swerving Our Glory?
Fatal 4-way. For the women's title.
the women's one. I mean, I find it weird that people complain about women's matches and then they're dead silent for them. Except they're like, I was looking at through the Reddit comments as well. I know, but I was looking for the Reddit comments and it was just basically a bunch of simp incels commenting about Jamie Hater's arse and stuff like that. I mean, if you want to give the women the respect, treat them like equal performers. Just don't go coming about their arses and gears, man. For fuck's sake.
Oh,
I mean,
exactly.
I thought they performed really well. They were really great. You know, I feel like we're going to get a nice Jamie Hayter Britt Baker rivalry, which will be great.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
I mean, poor Shida as well. I love Shida. Shida was great. I feel like she should be getting like a big thing as well. She should get the TBS championship, obviously, and have Shida beat Jade. I'd be happy with that. If Shida was built up big and properly, she's got that championship as well, a Japanese one as well. Have her beat that and then get the TBS as well, and maybe we could run Serena Deeb and Shida back again for the TBS title. Let's go for that. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Sheeta's time has passed. I mean, she was just the pandemic. I call her the pandemic
but for
champion.
TBS, it should be fine. It's just
TBS should be fine.
Yeah, TBS.
Maybe.
Let Sheeta be the first woman to hold the championship and the TBS championship. That's absolutely grand for her. Let her be that.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I totally agree. But I feel
as long as we get a good built Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter rivalry that's actually on Dynamite, that's actually promoted well, and not just relegated to taped rampages or Dark or Elevation or something like that, then I'm happy with that. And then eventually when we get the Thunder Rosa versus Tony Storm, match to combine the championships, have Tony win that. Right, simp, fuck off. And then we can get, because obviously I don't know who you make win that, Rosa or Tony. I don't know who you make win at that point, or even Tony, if Tony's still going to be the champion by that point. But just give the women a bit more, man. Come on. Even an AEW fanboy like me can admit the women division isn't the best.
No, I mean Jamie Hayter, they would have made a star if they put.
Yeah, they would have. They would have.
I think it's going to be so. I think we're going to get a massive pop thing when we see Jamie Hayter apply the lockjaw to Britt Baker and make her tap out. I think that will be a money moment.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Yeah. No. Yeah. Eventually, once they get their head out of their asses, and then it looks like they're really setting on doing the thing between Tony Storm and Thunder Rosa. Get out.
To be honest, right, what I wouldn't mind them doing is having Britt win it last night by screwing over Jamie, basically what she did, and then Jamie, having the feud over the next couple of weeks, and Jamie winning it at Arthur Ashe. So giving Britt a really short title win this time, but basically just making Jamie the star out of it. So the entire point of Britt winning was to just help make Jamie the star. I wouldn't mind that either. And that I don't like hot potato in titles, but I feel like in that situation it would have been fine.
I mean, I feel like Jamie's going to get a big push as well because our Titantron's changed as well.
Oh,
I did not know that. Okay, I already know that.
It's changed from like liquid blood pouring down to like these.
Yes, you're
shapes.
right. Yeah.
So hopefully, I'm still like that Hater's going to hate catchphrase, which maybe t-shirt stuff as well. I feel like we're going to apparently someone from AEW is going to be in the New Japan Women's Championship bracket as well, right?
Oh,
I don't know. I did not check. I have to check.
Rio's still in Japan.
Yeah.
Send Rio or send Rio, send Nyla Rose. They like a monster heel over in Japan, or send Deeb. Send Deeb a technical masterpiece.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'll be down with that. They ain't really doing anything with it right now, so why not? Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, it's the floor is open when it comes to the women's Storm roster over there. Anyway,
now was it Jungle Boy and Christian Cage?
Yes, the second match of the night, Christian Cage. Let's set the template here. So obviously, it was Christian Cage that came out. Then it was Jungle Boy, and then he was looking to the tunnel, saying like, "Where's my friend?" And then now we got Luchasaurus is the new Big Show. Let's just say is the new Big Show.
That's the exact quote from I think it was Kobe last night. That is the exact quote.
Oh, there you go then. Like I don't know what they're doing with him and what's going on here.
I agree to an extent as well. I wish Luchasaurus had never turned heel. Imagine if when that whole thing with him and Christian and Jungle Boy came back, just had Luchasaurus be at his side or something like that. He was just watching him in the ring, watching Christian, and maybe hearing like wee whispers and stuff like that. It was just a lot of talking and convincing stuff. Then Jungle Boy came back, and he was still in like the Jurassic Express gear, and then it's just going to be like oh, they're still buddies. And then All Out happens, and it comes out, and it's still got like Dragon Express Titantron. He looks back, and he's not there, and then he comes out with the black mask on. Like, imagine that. That would have been a moment and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be great.
They went into the well one too many times. It didn't really have the same impact. It just makes him look stupid. But yeah, Jungle Boy gets squashed after this whole build up in 20 seconds. The injury or not, like this, I didn't agree with this one.
Sucked.
It was a bad look. It looks like a burial. Again, more venom from trolls hating about AEW burying, the young talent for the ex-WWE people. I don't know where they're going to go with this. So they're probably going to have like some.
I feel like we're going to get Luchasaurus versus Jungle Boy or Jack Perry. We're going to get that, and that would be a big match.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah.
As I said, besides the Jade and Athena one, if these two squash matches leads to big programs or big story moments, big rivalries, then I have no problem with them. But if they just leave to fizzle out shite, then that's when I've got a problem.
Yeah,
I just feel like also another thing. I think they just had too many matches on this card, and a couple had to get sacrificed, and it's unfortunately the wrong ones.
I mean, the mixed AAA thing didn't need to happen at all.
No, of course not. Definitely not.
Half these matches didn't happen. I said on the show last week. I broke down the only ones which meant anything on the card, and they managed to screw every single one of those up. So,
right, and
we're not done yet.
Next was House of Black versus Sting, Miro, and
no, you missed one. You missed one. Jericho against Danielson.
Oh god, I fucking hate that finish, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
Why did Brian lose? Why?
It was okay, but it was just like
I just hate the finish. It's like Drew and Roman. Wrong man won.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Right now, I'm actually bored of Jericho matches. I mean, this new Jericho Appreciation Society thing. All his matches, they're not good, and it's not the same Jericho anymore.
The only way I can see this leading to something good is we get Jericho versus Daniel Garcia, and Garcia makes Jericho tap using Brian's moves or something like that. He takes the new lessons from his new mentor to defeat his old one. If we get something like that, cool. But we just get, again, fizzled shite, then that's bad.
But maybe that's what they should have done on pay-per-view, not for this match.
Maybe
but
so.
It's whatever. It was just...
I feel bad for Danielson. With Jericho, I just feel like his work ethic, not work ethic, sorry, his work style is just really, he's past his prime now. He's loudly calling shots, to either the wrestler or the referee. You literally see him like orchestrating the match live in front, and he's a bit clunky when it comes to certain match points. Yeah, I'm over Jericho. He needs to dead this Jericho Appreciation Society thing and then just be a manager or something, in my opinion. Woohoo Heist, quick pause. Soul says, if Cody can leave, then so can Bucks and Omega. Love him or hate him, Punk is a box office attraction. No one else on the roster is close. The loose cannon pipe bomb stuff is what you paid for when you got CM Punk.
I mean, that's true. And the fact that anybody who's ever worked with him said the same thing, apart from Undertaker, who of course at the show we went to the other day, Chaos. Hot over Punk, in fairness. But, he is a box office attraction. But losing the Bucks and Omega would be awful for them. It really would.
It would
because Omega is the person behind the video game, which hasn't come out yet, which TK put so much money into. And it's looking unlikely it's going to make a profit as it is. Never mind if you take out the guy who's made it.
Yeah.
I mean, think about if you build if TK builds a bad relationship with the Bucks and Omega, they're obviously going to go back to New Japan, right? And what do you think they're going to spread through the New Japan locker room and then lead to higher ups?
Nowadays. I think WWE would give them a very nice offer. I really
100%.
I think it's too nice to turn down.
100%, 110%.
Right. Now House of Black versus Miro, Darby Allin, Sting.
There we go. It looks like you've been dying. I've been talking about this. All right. Yeah. That was it. Go on.
I like this. I really like this. I really like Darby, Sting, Miro. One thing that I couldn't see on the fight stream, I don't know if any of you saw it as well. Did Miro leave halfway through the match, or did as soon as the pin goes, he was straight up that ramp?
I think after the pin, he was straight up the ramp.
That doesn't sound good to me. That sounds like there's some shit going on there or something like that. I don't know if it's.
I think that is just work. Like not a work. I think it's just
is it just his character?
storyline
Right? Is it
that
just
he's
his
just
character?
focused. He's just
Right,
focused.
that's
I
fine.
think that's
Well,
what it is,
I don't know if you've heard about this as well, but apparently after the
Malachi.
match,
Yeah.
Malachi Black hugged the House of Black members, bowed to the crowd, and then left.
And blew a kiss as well.
Blue kiss as well.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I don't think he's done with AEW. I think he's going to take time off for mental health, which is, I think, something that he's. And I've seen people like, "Oh, why don't you just release him anyway?" As a company, you don't just imagine if you just release a guy because he wants it, but he's also got mental health problems, and something happens to him.
Yeah.
I think you keep him on the belt and you give him all the support he needs. You be an open line for him, open communication. Exactly. Yeah. Do I think Malachi's going to leave AEW? Honestly, no, I don't think so. I think he just needs some time for himself, help himself out, and just take the time he needs for himself. I think he's a great performer, a great wrestler, and I hope to see him more.
No, 100%. I don't want him to go anywhere else. At the end of the day, you gotta, not fend for yourself, but I mean, you gotta think about your mental well-being, especially in this day and age. Just give him some time off, let him recalibrate, and then if he wants to come back or just decide what happens afterwards. I mean, I feel bad for the House. I feel like they could have done a lot more with them when they had the chance or chances. But yeah. It is what it is. I hope he doesn't leave. Just take some time off, well-deserved time off.
All the best wishes to Malachi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's been working hurt as well. He's been hurt since.
I'm sure he has. I'm sure he has. Yeah, I'm sure he has.
Yeah, he just needs some time off. But
I honestly don't think he's going to back to WWE as well because he was dissing Judgment Day on his Twitch as well, saying they were just a rip off of his work and stuff like that. So
they basically are. They are the entrance, everything. Sure. Of course he is. Of course they are.
I think if he was a free agent now, he'd be happy to go there. But I mean, if once his issues are sorted out. But I feel like once his issues are sorted out, he'd also be happy to stay in AEW. I don't think it's anything on AEW as to why he wants a break.
Yeah. No, agreed.
Right, main event time.
Yes, main event time. Now this has been very divisive. The crowd was divisive as hell during this match. But yeah, your boy CM Punk is now your AEW World Champion. What's your thoughts on this match, guys?
I liked it. I really liked it. I liked the whole brawling in the crowd thing. Apparently, people were like, "Oh, Punk's gas is being carried by Moxley," and I was watching it. And I was like, "Right, these guys need to go to Specsavers because they kind of see shite."
No, he was. Punk was tired as he got on. He was.
I didn't think so. I thought
it wasn't like ridiculous tiredness. It wasn't like it wasn't as bad as
it was like Ultimate Warrior or something.
Yeah. Or even like Undertaker in recent years and stuff like that, or Goldberg and stuff like that. Like it wasn't nearly anywhere near that level. But you could see he was a bit tired. But people.
I still think it was a high quality match. Like easy a 4.
I didn't think it was a bad match, but I just didn't think it was it was what you'd expect it to be. Like it wasn't like this is a great classic match. Oh
no,
God, wrestling fan, here's a match you should watch. It didn't feel like
it's not like we're going to get a Brett and Bulldog technical masterpiece or some stuff like that. Like
you only do 4 pay-per-views a year, and this was the main event. Like it was just.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I like the finish. The finish I liked.
I like the finish. Yeah, I like the finish, and then the whole MVS stuff as well.
Yeah, I like that too.
Perfect. That whole MVS stuff with the goddamn phone recording and call back the Punk's Ring of Honor stuff with like the devil.
Yeah.
Everything of MGF on that pay-per-view, loved coming out the Symphony with the Devils, loved the mask stuff, the devil reference with the gear. Essentially, we're getting Pinnacle 2.0, and then the end stuff as well. No problem. Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ, they popped for a man putting on a scarf.
Yeah. yeah, definitely. I think the ending definitely saved it. It was something that everyone was not necessarily expecting, but was hoping to happen. Some type of interference with MJF, and we called it as well. We said most likely it's going to be the Joker is going to be MJF. So
yeah,
his mannerisms when he came out and took the thing down, I wasn't really sure like if that was him.
But I feel like I knew it was him when he got on the A-ring and he swiped his feet.
Yeah.
That's an MJF.
Oh, I knew from the walk, the first walk. It was his walk.
That swagger, fuck you, I got money, I got paid.
Yeah.
If I had to say, if someone had to come here now, do you think this is the worst pay-per-view AEW have ever put on? No.
Personally, the worst pay-per-view they put on was Full Gear. Full Gear last year. That was so far the worst.
No way.
No.
It was too many matches. It was long.
The worst.
Right, mate.
By
Are you still
far the
drunk?
worst two. By far the worst two were All Out 20. The worst one by an absolute marathon, undoubtedly, was All Out 2020. That show was awful.
Let me see what happened to more.
That's the one with. Was that the one with Eddie and John Moxley in the main event, or was that Full Gear? I'm thinking of.
Oh, that's Full Gear.
So what was All Out again? Because I don't think I think that was.
The main event was John Moxley against MJF.
Yeah.
And
it was
the paradigm
basically-
shift was banned. But he
I
still
don't think
used
I've actually, yeah, I don't think I've actually watched that pay per view.
It was awful because it was
wow,
like
yeah.
it went
Look at
on
the
ages and there was like barely any crowd. It was because it was during pandemic. It was just,
Oh
it
no,
was
you know what?
really
I take
bad.
that back. Yeah, because that was Orange Cassidy versus Jericho in the Mimosa match. That sucked ass. Hikaru Shida
It went
versus
on
Thunder
ages.
Rosa.
The entire show.
And that was the one with Lance Archer taking out Eddie Kingston and winning the Casino Battle Royale. There was and there was that dumbass Big Swole versus Dr. Britt Baker match in the tooth and nail match.
Oh,
when
the
they were
dentist one
cinematic.
that people were complaining about that wasn't on the main event, and then or not main event, the main card, and then people complaining about, oh, why is this on the main card?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Okay, no, I take that back. I take that. The reason I'm saying Full Gear because there was a lot of matches, a lot of pointless matches, and it was very, very long.
I was about to say that's the goddamn Hangman one. That was an excellent goddamn moment.
Yeah, I take that back. But yeah, so yeah, all
This was way worse than Full Gear last year, in my opinion. Way worse. This was the worst pay-per-view by a comfortable amount in terms of with a proper full crowd, in my opinion.
It was
I'm gonna say something as well that I don't know if this is just in the moment or if I truly feel this, but I don't know if this was weaker than Revolution last year as well. The one with the the botch death match.
Okay. Let me see the card on that one actually.
I mean,
Revolution.
As a full card, this probably was weaker. If you take out the fact, the finish.
So yeah,
Kenny Omega versus on that show. We had
Paige and Hardy, big money match. Shida versus Rio.
Then we have I'm trying to think.
Young Bucks versus the Inner Circle. That was for the World Tag Team titles. It wasn't the Stadium Stampede match or whatever.
Did Darby win the TNT title on that pay-per-view?
No, him and Sting faced Team Taz in that cinematic.
That cinematic match. That was good. That was good.
Yeah, and Scorpio won the Face of the Revolution ladder match with the Sonic ring.
And they started to push him for 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I would say this one was definitely weak. There was a lot of filler, a lot of stuff that could have been avoided. But yeah, it is what it is. Numero Superfly says in the comments, one thing I don't understand that even though the main event was good, what was the whole point of AEW taking the title of CM Punk and then just to win it back 11 days later?
Probably so they could get rid of the interim stuff as well, or
well, Punk said it was to put Moxley over, and then so Moxley could then do the same to him. I was like, I mean, if it happened a month before, I wouldn't have an issue with it. But it was 2 weeks before, and then it was a rematch, and I mean,
it was unique that the fact they didn't have a main event until like literally 4 days before the pay-per-view. But
not sold well pay-per-view though. So I mean, is it a good thing?
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe I don't know. It's
the worst selling of the year so far.
It was what?
This pay-per-view on digital sales is the worst of the year so far. I'm
sure. Yeah, there wasn't that many must-see matches like there was back at last year's All Out kind of thing. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's definitely one of their weakest.
I'm gonna have trouble doing my top 10 pay-per-views of the year now and the worst ones. Now this is gonna be a bit difficult to think.
Oh, I can't wait to do that. Oh man, I can't wait to do that. You're gonna do one as well, ain't you, Ben? Like.
We should just get everybody on here. Get every YouTube goddamn show here. All my competition. Get on the goddamn.
Indeed. Well, I think we've covered quite a bit. Is there anything else? So actually, as overall, out of 10, I'm curious also to know this. Ben, what would you give All Out of 10?
It depends what on a scale of an AEW pay-per-view, like 1 being their worst one ever, 1 being All Out 2020, and 10 being All Out 2022, I guess. 2021, I mean.
2021. Sure, why not?
Okay. 3.
Jesus. Okay. So
I'm thinking 5.
And that's coming from an AEW stan. He openly he openly says that there's a 5.
Tony
there's-
Khan cosplayer, as the comments say.
Oh, haha. Look, if we get good stories and good matches, how it is, like I've mentioned with Starks and mentioned with Jungle Boy, then maybe I'll make it a 7. But right now, fresh off the bat, I'm concerned.
And yeah, understandable. Definitely understandable. Yeah, I'm probably going to say a 5. I mean, obviously it would have been a 4, but the stuff that they did with MJF at the end just gives it an extra point. Yeah, lots of filler. Went on a bit too long. The stuff could have been avoided, could have been done, handled much better. But yeah, and on top of that, the madness backstage is not helping things either. It's freaking weird.
I mean, it's more interesting than the entire pay-per-view was, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. I give you that. It definitely is. But at the same time, if you look for them as a business or in Tony Khan's eyes, it's not good. It's not good at all. So yeah, we just watch this space. I'm pretty sure things are going to be unfolding almost on the hour.
Yeah.
Regarding this, because yeah, we're far from done. But one thing for sure, Dynamite this Wednesday is looking pretty appetizing, as well as tonight, Monday Night Raw, as well. What happened at Clash? Definitely.
We've got a 1 second. Apparently, Colt Cabana's reacted.
One second.
Colt Cabana's reacted.
Oh boy.
Let me find that.
Fuck CM Punk. Tweet.
He just said fuck Pepsi.
Fuck Pepsi. No one drinks that shite. Oh my gosh. Come on, indulge us. I didn't even think that Colt Cabana was even on Twitter.
Oh. An event where pro wrestlers she liked the tweet saying, an event where pro wrestlers answer questions in character is not a press conference. It is.
Okay.
Well, that's not about. No, it's not. That was before the show too.
Oh,
maybe it's about Clash.
Oh, what Roman Reigns did?
Yeah.
Well, Hangman Page just tweeted, "Happy Labor Day."
Fair enough.
This is really bad journalism from a site which shall not be mentioned, but Soul slammed the other day on last week's episode.
Wankers.
That is really poor journalism. They did an article about him liking a tweet, which was actually before the show.
As I've said before, dirt sheets aren't real journalists. They're just wankers with access to Facebook.
Preach.
Well, here's another thing as well. Ricky Starks has just tweeted and then deleted "Do the work always," which is a reference to Cody Rhodes' promo when he left.
Okay. What is he alluding to right there? I wonder what he's on about.
He's jumping ship, or he's just teasing fans, either one.
Anyway. Well, if that is all, then I guess that is all. This has been a very not explosive, but very loaded episode of Take It to the Table. Breakdown. Oh wait, no, emergency. Sorry, I don't know why I called it a breakdown. Yeah. Thank you to everyone that joined in the comments as well. Much appreciated, guys. As always, make sure you subscribe, shared, and like. Helps the algorithm, helps us know that you actually like this content. Be sure to follow us at Wrestling Republic on Instagram and official_TITTT, and also at the Soul Sessions official on Instagram as well. Be sure to check that out. Soul, do you have any more interviews coming up soon?
Actually got one more. This is in reference to kind of Cardiff and Wales. Welsh wrestler, part of Welsh Wrestling, Kid Cymru.
Oy, nice. Cool. Wait, do you have a date? You have a date?
Boss, when is it? When can I do it?
I think.
Wednesday. It's Wednesday. You know what that means? Another episode of the Soul Sessions, pretty much. So we can talk about NXT UK, that dissolvement of that, Welsh wrestling in general, and his thoughts of maybe Cardiff holding a WrestleMania.
Definitely. Cool. Be sure to check that out, everyone. And also, like I said, the vlog of Clash at the Castle is up right now. Be sure to check it out. It's nuts, especially when it comes to the main event. Oh my god, you gotta see that. We're gonna be putting clips on that as well, so be sure to check it out for sure. But
I'm glad you dropped your belt.
We need some Instagram reels of that.
Don't worry.
The soul one has done well.
Don't worry, you'll be getting them definitely for sure. But yeah, until then, guys, I have been your host, Chaos. He is Soul. He has been Allison. Until next time, guys. Peace.